Hey CPS friends, it's me again. This week I'm here to talk to you about resources that we have for reading and literacy. So if you watched the last video, we showed you how to log into Clever using our CPS website, and here is the Clever icon. If you did not watch that video and you don't know how to do it, the link is right here. Also, the link to our teacher parade is right here too if you want to watch it again or miss that the first time it was posted. So once you're in the Clever portal, you're going to have your icons. And since we're focusing on reading, we're going to look at just the reading ones, even though you've probably done most of them, just to get a recap. In this icon is AR, and you are allowed to take tests at home on any books that have an AR test. So you can do that from your home as of now. That will be shut off, I'm sure, when we go back to school. A lot of students are very familiar with reading eggs. So once you're in reading eggs, it'll log you in automatically. And you have reading eggs here and then reading express. If you feel that your child has just maxed out, done everything, and can make 100s on everything in reading eggs, you can allow them to go in reading express. It really focuses more on comprehension and some more in-depth skills of reading rather than just sounding out words and learning the words. So reading eggs, reading express, and then you have a library that you can go in and read books that are in the reading eggs tab. Okay, you also have Starfall. It has games for reading. If you scroll down, there's a big E for Edmentum. A lot of our students have worked in that and have taken tests in that. So once you're in, you're going to look for, it looks like a map, and it's called the learning path. When you're in the learning path, it has your math, your language arts, and your reading. You can do any of those, but since we're focusing on reading, I'm going to click reading. And then it gives you 3 things for each step that you go in. So you're going to do the lesson, you're going to do a practice, and then you're going to do a quiz to see if you mastered what you learned. Just go in order on those things. Okay. There are lots of other things online. We have posted some resources for all subjects, but if you're looking just at reading, these are some good resources that we use at school and that they may be familiar with, they may not be. I know Books and Epic has a lot of books that they can read for free. In a little bit, you're going to hear from Mr. Yodi, and he's going to refer to MyOn. So this is what he's talking about. So if you click this picture, it'll take you to that link. And a lot of people that have already tried this are getting really confused with the school name. So instead of putting Cook Primary, you're going to start typing GET, and it's going to pop up Get Georgia Reading, and that is going to be your school name. Our username is Cook County, all together, no spaces. And then the password is read. And when you sign into that, it's going to give you an option of library. You can look at the news. It tells you how much you've read, what book you may be reading, books that are similar to ones you have read if you've read in this app. And if you go to the library and click Browse, come up. You can search by genre. So if I like animals, I'll click animals, dinosaurs, and then I'll choose a book. You can choose to read it, or if you click add, it'll go to your list, and then you can read from there. So there are lots of options to get you reading, even though the libraries are closed. Just keep reading. Anything you can. Read, read, read. We can't wait to see you all. And in a few minutes, you're going to hear from a few of your teachers that you know from school.
Reading to your child in pre-K is so important. It helps them to develop so many skills, especially language and listening skills. The more that you read to your child, the more vocabulary that they'll become familiar with. In pre-K, we like to focus on big words, or as we like to call them, big kindergarten words. And when we focus on one of these words, we like to give a kid-friendly definition. And if the word can be acted out, we'll allow the children to act it out. And if not, we'll ask the children to give us a definition in their own words. When we come across the word in a story again, we will revisit the word just to reinforce that. Reading to your child is so important during the stage of their life. Not only does it allow you to bond with your child, but it also helps them to develop that vocabulary that they're going to need. And the more vocabulary that they know, the more they'll be able to read. Happy reading!
Reading is important because it helps us to learn, understand, and become smarter. Reading books can help us take our minds off things that are currently going on, and it helps us to escape to a magical place. Phones, video games, they always have to be charged, but books are always there, charged and ready to read.
Hi, you guys. I am Joy Butler. I teach first grade at Cook Primary School. And first off, from our first grade family, we would like to tell you guys how much we miss you, and we want to encourage you to read every day. There are several reasons why reading is important, but one main reason I feel reading is important is reading is knowledge. The more that you read, the more you learn, and the more you learn from reading, it will cascade over into the rest of your learning experience. But we just want to encourage you to read every day, and we hope that you have a safe and wonderful summer. Bye.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. I am so excited to make a short video and tell you that I miss you and I love you, and I wish I could see you every day in the library like we used to. But there are still books that you can read. You can get on the Mayan and read lots and lots of books. There's thousands of books for you to choose from. So get on Mayan, read your books, and know that I'm thinking about you and I miss you. Take care.
Reading is super important in everyday life, and reading is also very important in the STEM lab. We have to know how to read to do our science experiments. We have to know how to read to learn how to build bigger things like engineers. We have to know how to read to be able to build our robots and make our robots do what we want them to. So reading is super important in everyday life and in the STEM lab.
As PE teachers, it's now our responsibility to integrate components of literacy into our classroom. This does not mean we become reading teachers. It only means that we take critical elements of the new definition of literacy and integrate them into our daily teaching. We do this not to only support the holistic growth of the child, but also to help them obtain the knowledge needed to understand what a healthy life is and how to lead one.
Hey guys, this is Miss Key. I am coming to you live from my driveway. I hope that all of you are well. I really seriously miss you, like a whole bunch. I miss seeing your faces. I miss dancing with you, singing with you, playing instruments with you, teaching you about the ins and outs of music. I can't wait to see your faces as soon as this thing is over with. But today I wanted to come to you in my driveway because I want to tell you how reading helps in music class. Because in music class, we may not read a lot of words, but we certainly read music notes. And before we left school, we were all learning about that. We were learning about two very important music notes. One music note looked like a leg and a foot. Do you remember what the nickname was? It's called do. And then there was another music note that had two do's connected with the bar across it. And we said that that one looked like earphones. That's called, do you remember? It's called doodah. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you how a song about the Easter Bunny and music notes go hand in hand. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera to my driveway. Okay, so we have some letters and some Easter eggs. They actually kind of look like teardrops, but I'm not Miss Patty. I can't really draw that very well. But anyway, it's okay. And then below the letters are the notes that go with the letters. So the song is called B-U-N-N-Y. So I'll sing a little bit of it for you, and then I'm going to explain to you how you being able to read those letters also help you to read the notes at the bottom. So here's the song. There is a bunny with a pink nose, floppy ears, and a fluffy tail, and Bunny is his name. Oh, B-U-N-N-Y, 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 and Bunny is his name. Oh. And then underneath we have those notes that we were talking about. We have the quarter note, or the do. Then we have another do under the U. And then we have the barred notes, the do-de. I wonder why. Well, it's because when we were singing the song, we said the end, we said the two ends the way that we would read the barred eighth notes. Okay, so how does reading help us in music? Well, first of all, we know that when we read from left to right. So the letters are B, U, N, N, Y. Well, guess what? We sing and we say the same note. We do it the same way in music, okay? So we have do, 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 de, do. So that's how music and reading connects with each other. So if you will, later on today, ask your parents if you could go onto YouTube. The song is called B-U-N-N-Y, and you can do that song. Bye.
Hi, Cook Primary School family. My name is Donna Carroll, and I am one of the interventionists at Cook Primary School. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about why it's important that your child keep reading even though we are not in school. I want to use an example. Do you remember when you first started riding your bike? You remember you had to go outside, they had just taken the training wheels off, and you needed help getting up on that big bike, and you needed help staying steady, and then eventually every day you just kept practicing and practicing and practicing to where finally you don't need any help. You can go outside and you can ride your bike by yourself. Well, reading is the same way. If you do not keep practicing reading, you're not going to get better. And the only way to get better is to practice. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about where to find things to read. I know that several parents are frustrated because my child has read through all the books we have in the house. The library is closed. The bookstores are closed. And I understand that, but think about your daily life and the things that you read. Yes, you may read a book before you go to bed, but think about the other hours of the day. You're driving down the road and you're stopped at the red light. You automatically are drawn to the sign at Hardee's to see what the specials are that day. Or you pass a gas station and you read to see how much gas is that day. That is the actual real life reading that we do every day. Reading a book is just one way of reading, and your child could be the same way. They would love to walk around the house with you and look for words they know on like the cereal box, or I'm sure we've all got our Clorox containers out right now and they read the words on the Clorox boxes. Take a walk in your neighborhood. I noticed on my way home today there are several campaign signs out. Most first and second grade students could read the word vote and for, and they may not know what the word, this campaign person's name is, but they can read some of the words on the campaign sign. And that would also be a good time to talk to them about what the word vote means, because reading improves your vocabulary as well. Also, if you have pre-K or kindergarten students and you may be thinking they had just started reading and they don't really know how to read, well, most every week we get a shopper in the mail and it has a grocery store ad. You can go through there and cut out the pictures of some of the things that are for sale. For example, the apples, Jell-O, orange juice. And one good thing that you can do with a beginning reader is you can lay like 3 or 4 of those pictures out on the table and teach them how we start from left to right, or sometimes we call it front to back, so that they are learning that when they do begin reading sentences, there is a place that we start at. Also, most kindergartners had already started learning their letters and sounds So you could also take that picture of the apples, and you can write the word apple out, and then eventually take the picture away, and from memory they should be able to read the word apple. Now it's going to take time, just like riding your bike takes time, but that is why we need to keep reading. Just make it fun. Walk around your house, find things that they can read. Ask them to go find things. Maybe just say, okay, I want you to walk through the house and find 10 words that you know. They will love it. And so that is why we at Cook Primary School want your children to keep reading. Send us some pictures of some things that you and your child are doing to help practice your reading. And if you have any questions, you may contact your child's teacher, or even if your child was in an intervention, you may contact one of the interventionists. But we all want you to stay safe, and we want you to keep reading.